When did you realize that your family weren't actually there for you? I grew up thinking my family was like any other. Loud dinners, weekend barbecues, the usual mix of chaos and love. My parents weren't perfect, but they worked hard. My siblings and I fought like most kids do, but I always believed we had each other's backs. That illusion held for a long time, even as things started to crack underneath the surface. It wasn't one single moment that shattered everything. It was more like a slow unraveling that finally became impossible to ignore. When I was about 22, I got into some serious trouble. I'd been working 2 jobs, trying to save up for school and rent, but I messed up, made a bad decision that landed me in legal trouble. Nothing violent or major, more like a series of stupid mistakes piling up and catching up to me. I called my mom the day I got arrested, thinking she'd help me figure out what to do next. The phone rang for a long time, then went straight to voicemail. I left a shaky message explaining what happened and that I needed her. That was the first time I felt the cold weight of being alone. I called my sister after that, hoping she'd be the one to step up. She answered but didn't sound surprised or worried. She told me to figure it out on my own, said she had her own life to worry about. I begged her to just visit or call more often, but the excuses came fast and easy. Busy with work, too tired, didn't know what to say. I ended up spending a night in jail before bail was posted. When I finally got out, I reached out to my dad. He picked up, but his first words were an angry lecture about responsibility and consequences. He wasn't angry at the system or the situation, just me. I asked if he could help with a lawyer. He said no, that I needed to handle my own mess. At that point, the whole idea of family as a safety net started to feel like a lie. The people who were supposed to be there for me, no matter what, were nowhere to be found when I needed them most. I wasn't expecting handouts or pity, just a little support, a call, a visit, something. But I got silence, judgment, and cold shoulders instead. It wasn't just that incident either. Looking back, there were signs I'd missed. Times when I was struggling with mental health, and the conversations got brushed off or ignored. Moments when I asked for help moving out, and the offers to pitch in were vague or non-existent. Holidays spent pretending everything was fine while the tension simmered just below the surface. I realized family isn't always the people who share your last name. Sometimes it's the ones who show up in the hard moments, the ones who stay when everyone else walks away. After that, I started building a different kind of family. Friends who checked in without being asked, mentors who believed in me, coworkers who stayed late to help when I was overwhelmed. It wasn't the family I was born into, but it was the one I needed. The old family is still around, but the dynamic has changed. I don't rely on them the way I once did. That distance hurts in ways that are hard to explain, but it's also a relief. Because now, when someone says they have my back, I know it's true. There was no big confrontation or dramatic fallout, just a quiet understanding that some promises aren't kept, and some people won't be there, even when you think they will. That truth is harsh, but it's real. The day I finally accepted that my family wasn't there for me the way I thought they would be was painful, but it opened the door to finding people who actually are. That realization didn't come with fanfare or closure. It just settled in quietly and changed everything.